Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Amber, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel as well. This channel is all about filling sketchbooks now. So I started it a couple of months ago and I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go or take my art, but now I'm pretty sure I just want to fill sketchbooks since I've started with this one and also this one. Both of these are the art creation sketchbooks. Ever since I started this little sketchbook, I've just been completely hooked and slowly filling pages, and I've been videoing most of the process, and over the next few weeks and months I will be sharing it all with you. But for today I have a different sketchbook that I will be showing you. I've been working in it in my past two videos, and the picture that we will be painting today, what I've painted I suppose, is this. So it's one of my favourite memories from a long time ago. When was that? 2016. It's the Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios in Disney. So I'm looking forward to sharing this video with you because I surprised myself with the perspective of this, and although it's not perfect, it's still pretty good for somebody who knows absolutely nothing really about perspective. I've only just started learning about it, and well, I was going to say it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I've put things off in my art journey for such a long time now, like perspective, actually thinking about colour theory and like the colour wheel and how colours all work together and all things like that. But anyways, today is about perspective. So I'll be painting this with, I thought it was, I wish I would have wrote down what I used in this to paint it, but I'm sure I'll know in a moment when I actually look at my footage from it, I suppose. But it's either watercolour or gouache and pen, so, and gel pen as well. So I really like to use gel pens in my sketchbook. So I will be sharing the process with you, and then also I'll be sharing how I made the perspective easier for myself by using my iPad first to do like a little sketch, so sort of a little tracing really, and then I copied it onto my sketchbook. Here's this, look at this. This shark, oh god. I don't know if you're like me and actually struggle to, or have struggled to, fill sketchbooks in your life like I do, because I'll do one bad painting like the shark and I'll be like, oh, that's it, sketchbook's ruined, throw it away. But my goal is to get over that now. It's such a silly way of looking at things and a silly way of looking at sketchbooks, but I think it's more of a control problem probably. But anyways, I'm looking forward to showing you this. Let's go and get started. And before we start, if you like this video, if you want to see more sketchbook videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is only the beginning. Okay, I'll see ya. Let's go. So the audio will be a lot better now. I didn't realise when I recorded that first bit that I didn't plug my mic in and it was just using the camera audio. But anyways, this is what I do when I am really nervous about working from a certain reference photo. So the reference photo that I'm using today is from one of my family holidays back in 2016 in Disney. So this is one of my favourite rides in the world. It's the Hollywood Tower of Terror, and it's in Disney's Hollywood Studios. As you can see, there's quite a lot going on in this reference photo, and just looking at it, I really wanted to draw it. I thought it'd be fun, but I was really nervous about the actual sketching of it because there's so much perspective in this, and obviously with the buildings, the trees, you can see sort of where the path is on there, where the tree line is, and I was just nervous about it. And I know it's just a sketchbook and you should just sketch and not worry about it, but I do work in my sketchbooks
at the moment with the goal of trying to do something nice, or at least I did when I was painting this. So this is Procreate on my iPad, and I will do this sort of process for anything that I feel really intimidated by. For instance, I used to like drawing horses, and I was trying to learn anatomy and horse anatomy and things like that. And instead of just sort of sketching the circles straight onto my paper, I just do the circles on the like trace the circles over where they go on the horse on my iPad before then doing the same sort of thing on my paper and finishing the drawing. So it's just a way to, I feel like, learn, but also make that learning process a little bit easier and not so blind, if you know what I mean. Sometimes with perspective and anatomy and things like that, it can be really, really daunting to just go straight in and start drawing. So to have a little warm-up time on my iPad beforehand and have half an idea what I'm doing, it just makes me feel a bit better. And I don't know, I feel like it gives me half a chance to actually finish a drawing when I go in with a bit more of a plan, rather than just going in not knowing what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, moving on to the next thing that I like to do, which is picking some colours out on my reference photo before I start with the painting as well. So there's a lot going on in this photo, as I just said. There is the sky, the trees, the street lamps, all the different buildings in all the different colours. And sometimes I'll look at the reference photo and see things a lot brighter than they actually are. Something else I'm trying to learn about, and one of my most exciting things at the moment, is colour theory. And I understand that some of you may be watching and thinking, oh, this is all such boring stuff, colour theory and perspective. But ever since I've started learning about this stuff, it has transformed everything about my art. It's transformed my excitement for it. I think it's transformed the way I use colour, and I just know that it's made me a better artist. And the more that I learn about this stuff, the better I will get. And by no means am I saying that I am an incredible or even a great artist. I just love to learn and better myself all the time with everything. And I can really see a massive difference since I've started learning a little bit more about the fundamentals of art. I can just see such a massive difference with myself and my confidence, and it's just nice to know what you're doing a little bit more. But also sometimes I like to just open a fresh page in my sketchbook and go in with random art supplies, and I like to do that as well. So with no idea what I'm doing, sometimes it's just nice to chuck some colour on the paper. But for today, we're going a bit more structured. Now I've got my cheat sheet, which is a good thing to call it, I suppose, with my sketch and my my little colour palette on there that I'll be trying to stick to, but I always go a little bit more vibrant. I'm now going to start off with my sketch. So I've sped this footage up, and I will speed it up a little bit more in a moment, because otherwise this video is going to be like 3 hours long, I suppose, and that's not what anybody wants. But yeah, I'm just starting off with my Col-erase pencil. And by the way, this sketchbook is a Stillman and Birn beta series sketchbook. I've been enjoying this lately for watercolours. I think it holds watercolours really, really well. And yeah, so starting off, I don't know if you saw just a second ago, but on my iPad, I put 4 little dots in, like, near the 4 corners of the sketch that I did on there, and I'm doing the same thing on here. So I wanted to sketch this out without tracing, obviously, because it's my sketchbook and I want to learn in my sketchbook. But I wanted to make it as easy as possible for myself, as I said, because the reference photo is quite a difficult one. And I also wanted to do this in watercolour and ink, which I'll be using my Daniel Smith watercolours, obviously, because the palette's there that I've got them all in, and also some Micron pens as well. So just a quick heads up that I don't plan any of these videos really. I sort of wake up on the day, sit down at my computer, see which footage I've got next up in my little video folder, and then I just start. So I might sound all over the place, and I don't exactly remember what mediums I've even used until I start on the editing, and so yeah, that's why I sound a bit clueless when it comes to all these things. But for the moment, I just wanted to make my YouTube channel quite simple for myself, and well, I wanted to do that, but I don't know whether I actually have done by the way that I'm doing these videos. But I'm enjoying myself, and I hope that you enjoy these videos as well. So I just wanted to tell you that, because you might wonder why I'm just all over the place all the time, and or maybe you don't. Maybe you're all over the place too. I don't think anybody's really perfect, are they? We try. But it's just, I don't know. I'm quite an all over the place person, I suppose. You might be able to tell from my art if you've watched any of my other videos. I just don't know ever what kind of art I want to be making. I am 1 minute doing pan pastels, watercolors, gouache, acrylic gouache. I've got no real style. I'm just experimenting and learning and trying to make the process nice and easy for myself along the way. But yeah, I'm going to leave you now with some music while I finish doing the sketch and also the inking part of this sketch, and then I'll be back when it's time to start adding colour. So I haven't finished all of the inking part of this sketch yet, but I for some reason decided to add this lamppost in before I'd finished. I think maybe because I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of lines that was in this sketch. So there's just so many lines, so many vertical lines everywhere, and I think I was getting a little bit confused. So I just needed a little break and to just put this lamppost in before I continued. Something you saw me do just a moment ago was blend out the pencil before I went in with the pen with a tissue. I really like to do that with the Col-erase pencils because it blends them out and creates like such a soft look with the Col-erase pencils. And I don't know whether that was actually a great idea with this, because I did lose some of the lines that I put in there, and then I got a little bit confused with the inking where the lines was actually supposed to go. But usually that is such a great technique with the Col-erase pencils, because it softens the lines out before you then go on top with your colour or pencils, paint, whatever you're going to use on top of your sketch. It works really well when you do that technique underneath your watercolours, for instance, because sometimes we don't really want our pencil showing up underneath, like showing through our watercolours. But when you do that and you soften the lines out with your Col-erase pencils, then it doesn't show up underneath the watercolour so much. I also like to do that technique when I'm using alcohol markers as well. It just sort of takes the harshness of the lines away and leaves you with something really dreamy, and you can see it on here underneath the actual tower, just how soft those lines have gone. I can't believe that we are nearly 17 minutes into this video and I still haven't really started on the painting. So I'm going to speed this right up and still talk over it and just let you know what I'm doing and stuff. But I have got some exciting news, actually. It's probably not exciting for you at all, but it is for me. If you've been around on my channel for a little while, you'll know that I have always wanted to do plein air painting and have never gone. And I think I talked about it in my last video, just how much I want to go, but it's something I just procrastinated about and have got so much resistance to. But yesterday I went plein air painting. I went to Margate Beach and just took my sketchbook, a little tiny painting kit, and did a few really quick gouache and neocolor sketches on the beach. And I am just so excited about it that I've decided to scrap all my next videos and make my plein air painting video next. So hopefully that'll be next week, but I've got so much on now for a few weeks that I'm going to try and make the time to edit, but if I don't, just be sure that it's coming very soon, and I can't wait to share it with you and share my experience with my first little plein air sketching trip. The style of painting that I did was actually so much quicker and much more loose than this style. So as I said a minute ago, I don't really have a style with my art. I just go with whatever I sort of feel like on the day. And I only had an hour because my husband was there doing some work. And so yeah, I needed to sketch quickly, and I'm learning a lot at the moment from Katie Moody, and I'm on her Patreon, and she's got a YouTube channel here as well. And I'm actually enjoying the more loose art much more than like this style, for instance, now, because I don't know, there's something so much more like energetic and just happy and playful about it, whereas this is quite structured. And although I still very much enjoyed painting this, I would like to give it another go with this loose style. So I have a lot more art like that coming up soon as well. So I'm not scrapping all my videos, obviously, but I just want to share my plein air sketching video with you before I share any of my other ones. But for now, back to this one. Oh, also, if you did want to see what I did on my little sketching trip yesterday, you can go to my Instagram, because I share on there all the artwork that I'm doing in real time, whereas my YouTube videos are a little bit behind at the moment. So that might mean that I just need to bring more videos out, I think, but it's just making the time to edit. So yeah. Okay, back to this one. I decided to start bringing in some watercolour before I was finished with the lines, mostly because I was getting so lost. I think that maybe if I could go back and do this one again now, I would perhaps not do, not add everything into it. Perhaps I would just do the Tower of Terror, the line of trees, and maybe like some really simple little buildings on the side. But I really wanted to try and like capture the whole vibe of the place. And for me, that street in Hollywood Studios where you're looking down and there's Planet Hollywood on your right and the whole like string of shops all down there on the right hand side, and then the Tower of Terror is looking over at you through the trees. That's like a memory that I really cherish and will always remember, and it's like one of those really happy feelings for me. So I wanted to capture all of it all in one painting. But as I said a minute ago, I'd love to give this a go, but do it a lot more loose, and like painterly, not even painterly, but just messy. I'm really enjoying my messy art at the moment. But now I think the video just skipped right to after I had done all of my lines. So I obviously forgot to press record on that part, or my camera went flat or something. But I'm just adding the trees in now. Something I've really been enjoying recently is working with limited colour palettes, or just not having too many colours around me to get confused by. So since starting to learn a little bit more about colour theory and colour theory, I find that something that really helps me learn is to not have too many colours around me. And in fact, with my gouache, I've got a set of just 6 colours in my palette. So I've got a CMYK, which, so I've got a magenta, a lemon yellow, and I've also got a cyan. So I've got like helio turquoise, it's called. It's by the brand Schminky. And then I've just got a lovely like turquoise blue and a darker yellow colour, so like between yellow and orange, and then a white. And that is the colours that I've been using with my gouache to learn myself how to do colour theory a little bit better. So I think it really helps when you don't have many colours and you have to mix what you've got to make the colours that you need. Now, you might like to use all of the colours. That's absolutely fine as well, obviously. It all depends what you want, doesn't it? But I just think that having a limited palette helps me to create art a lot more than having all of my colours out around me constantly. I'm like this with my coloured pencils, for instance. I used to be a coloured pencil artist primarily, so I have got so many coloured pencils in all the different brands, and when I have them all out now, I get so overwhelmed that I just don't really know where to start, if you like. So I much prefer picking out a few colours before starting to actually draw with them, and then maybe add in a couple more as I go if I need them. But I like to challenge myself to try and just use a few colours. Now, the colour palette that I've got here, I made kind of from scratch, I suppose, just to I wanted to have a selection of colours that I thought I could make pretty much every single colour out of, and I think I've got that here with this palette. The only thing that's missing is a white gouache for me. So the colours that I chose for this palette were the Jean Haines Master Artist set from Daniel Smith, and I felt that that had like some beautiful colours in, like a really vibrant but bright pink, which I used there on the Planet Hollywood sign, if you can see just on the right hand side of the painting, the bright pink colour. And what I did was mix that with a little tiny bit of the buff titanium, the Daniel Smith buff titanium, and that watercolour is really opaque, so it's almost like gouache-y, I think. Like it's more like a gouache, well, maybe in between a gouache and a watercolour, but anyways, it made my pink watercolour just a little bit desaturated and really opaque, so it almost looked like gouache that I was putting on my paper. I really love the buff titanium watercolor for that, because you can mix it with all different colors. It's a great mixing color, and it's a really good desaturating color too. So if you've got a color, for instance that pink that I've got there, the opera pink, it's either called opera rose or opera pink, it is so vibrant that it could do with a little desaturating, to be honest. And yeah, just mixing it with the buff titanium really helps to both desaturate it and make it slightly opaque as well. So if I could recommend a watercolor that I think you might be missing from your collection without even looking at your collection, I would probably say buff titanium, because it's an all-round great watercolor. What do you think? And also, what do you think of this painting so far? So I've pretty much done all of the watercolour now. I wouldn't surprise myself if I go back in with more watercolour in a moment, because that's what I tend to do. But I'm just going over now with my black fine liner. It's a Micron Pigma pen, and it looks like I'm using a tiny little tip, and it probably got clogged up quite a lot. So when you use a fine liner over gouache, it tends to clog up, and just to reactivate that, I will like dip at the end in my water cup a little bit and just scribble on a piece of paper, and that tends to revive it. And I see that that probably isn't the best thing to do, because I should imagine dipping the pen in water will cause a problem for the pen over time. I feel like someone will tell me that, but I'm trying not to be too precious really over my art supplies lately, especially lately. I've been so precious about all my art supplies for so long that I have so many art supplies around me that are barely used, and so I just use them now. And if it gets clogged up, I'll dip it in some water. I don't really worry about it too much. By this point in the painting, I think I started to get very confused by just the amount of detail and lines in the Tower of Terror there. So I think I just added a few lines in and thought I'll just call that done now, because the more lines I was adding, the more just messy and sort of overcrowded it was looking up there. And it's really easy to overwork art, isn't it? And I definitely probably overworked it a little bit, but I haven't even gone in with the gel pens yet, but I do think the gel pens bring it all to life. I love adding gel pens into my artwork, and I put it like just here, my white gel pen, I'm putting that over the Hollywood Tower sign, and then I'll put some in my trees, and yeah, it definitely just brings it all to life, and I really enjoy it. It looks really like graphic-y and almost cartoonish. It usually gets to about this point of a painting for me, when I've been working on it for probably about 2 to 3 hours, that I start getting a bit agitated and a little bit like itchy to finish it. So that's usually when the gel pens come out for me, when I just think, oh, can't really spend much more time on this. So that's why lately I've been experimenting with this much more looser style, and I've subscribed to Katie Moody's Patreon and that, because she does artwork in like 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it just looks amazing, and it looks so expressive and fun, and I feel like I get much more out of that than out of this sort of style. Another thing is, I've talked a lot about my like learning perspective in this video, but in Katie Moody's video she doesn't really think about the perspective very much, but it seems to me that she knows it and knows the way it works, for instance, like how a building would look from the side and from the front, and from different sort of angles, but she doesn't worry about it too much, so it doesn't matter if things look proper. But yeah, you should definitely check out her work on Instagram and on YouTube, and even her Patreon, because it just seems like she's created this amazing community of artists who all love to create just for the fun of it, and I love that. I really, really do. So going in with a couple of coloured pencils now, apparently, just to bring out the trees there, the tree trunks, and my green coloured pencil here, because I wanted to make my green trees a little bit more vibrant, just to bring them forward and push the tower back. Chromaflow pencils, the Derwent Chromaflow, they are a great pencil for opaqueness. They're really buttery and soft, so you can build some nice layers up with those. And apart from that, I am just going to paint this little border around the edge now, which I love to do lately. I love to like border my artwork either with a colour that I've used in it or with a Micron pen, and even do a little drop shadow like this. I feel like it's almost like a little postcard, and I think it looks great. It's a great idea to do in your sketchbook because it can really elevate your sketchbook art, and bring them forward and just make them pop a little bit more. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed the like format of it a little bit more. I haven't put music all the way through today. I thought I'd change it up a little bit. I'm still experimenting with this channel, and I think my videos will get a lot better in the near future because as I've been filming my art, I've been experimenting with different camera angles and like B-roll and stuff, just B-roll on my art supplies and things. So I'm hoping my videos will be a little bit more visually pleasing to you to watch. But as I said in the very beginning, this is only the beginning of my channel, of my art. I still feel like I've just got so much to learn with everything, but I love the process. I love to learn, and I hope you do too, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have, if you've made it to the end after 30 minutes. It's a long one for me, this one, so if you've made it all this way, let me know. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I suppose I will see you in the next video for my plein air painting adventure. I can't wait to share it with you. Okay, I'll see ya. Bye.